You are listening to Skin, Earth, Vitality, the podcast where ancient wisdom meets modern vitality. If you are seeking to reconnect with your innate vibrancy, you're in the right place. I'm Emily Davis, a seasoned holistic esthetician and herbalist. Join me as we unlock the secrets of ancient skincare practices, explore the beauty of seasonal and nature-based living, herbalism, and true holistic well-being for you and the broader ecosystem. Please remember that the information I share in this podcast is based on my personal and professional experiences and is intended for educational and informational purposes only. It is not individualized skincare advice, nor is it medical advice. I encourage you to take charge of your own health decisions and listen to your body, seeking out the resources and professionals that best support your wellness journey. Hey there, welcome back in. This is episode 27, and today I want to talk about something that I ponder often, which is the question, is holistic beauty a results-oriented approach to skincare? And I obviously think it is, as I'm a holistic beauty practitioner. But I want to tuck into this a little bit and flush it out. And this episode is for you if you are interested in a more holistic skincare practice, either for yourself if you're a practitioner or if you're a consumer and you're looking at healing your skin and you love the idea of quote unquote natural skincare or quote unquote clean beauty. But you're also like, I really want this to actually work though. I'm here to tell you that it does work, and I want to talk about why. So I often see professionals and companies describe their approach as results-driven and results-oriented, and it's often associated with invasive treatments. And whenever I see this, I think, yeah, but holistic modalities are incredibly results-oriented. And I worry that this type of messaging drives consumers to think that natural skincare is weaker skincare. So today I want to talk about slow beauty and why I'm a firm believer that slow and steady wins the race, so to speak. In other words, taking a slow beauty approach to skin, in my opinion, has longer lasting and better results. In fact, results driven from a massage-focused facial are some of the most profound results that I have seen after almost 2 decades of living and breathing this industry. Of course, we're in a culture that's obsessed with immediacy, and my call to action here is how can we cultivate appreciation for slow beauty as a results-oriented practice, whether you're a consumer or a professional who's listening. So let's begin with, what is slow beauty? What does that term even mean? Slow beauty is a holistic approach to skincare and self-care that emphasizes personalization, it emphasizes mindfulness, sustainability, and of course, long-term well-being, because it's going to encourage taking time to understand your skin's unique needs and creating rituals that nurture both your body and mind, and then, of course, also the greater ecosystem. So unlike the fast-paced world of quick fix beauty solutions, slow beauty focuses on the journey to radiant skin through both consistent and gentle care. Holistic is actually deeply medical, and I got my first permission slip to be a quote-unquote holistic esthetician from a friend and colleague of mine, Angela Peck, who I had seen this post that she created several years ago that said something along the lines of the magic is in the fluff. And prior to that, all I had heard in the land of estheticians was fluff as a negative thing. It was always like, let's brag about how aggressive we can get with the skin. And back then, I was conditioned to think that that was cool and that was, effective. But the thing was, my favorite part of the facial was what seemed to be the throwaway part, the fluffy massage. And when I'm doing a massage, I'm actually visualizing everything below the skin, the muscle, the connective tissue, the nerves, the lymph vessels, the blood vessels. And when I took my first facial massage course, my mind was blown at how much you need to have a deep understanding of anatomy of the face if you want to be truly results oriented. When I learned about corneotherapy, the results that I was seeing with clients who adapted the principles with their home care were insane. And so corneotherapy is the study of the integrity of the surface layer of the skin. So the top layer of our skin, the whole top layer is called our epidermis, and then we have layers of the epidermis. And within those layers, the very first layer is the stratum corneum. And our skin cells start out at the bottom layer as these big, plump, juicy cells, and they go through a life cycle where they're migrating up to the top. And as they're migrating, they are losing that plumpness, and they eventually turn into like cornflake cells at the surface. And that's the stratum corneum. It's like the roof of our skin. And so corneotherapy studies that roof of the skin, but conventional skincare is all about exfoliating it away. We don't want to have these cells just hanging out. They're dead skin cells that don't do anything, as conventional beauty would have you think. However, these cells are highly intelligent and they have a really important purpose. They're responsible for communicating to the cells lower in the skin, like, hey guys, here's what's going on up here. Here's how you need to prepare before you come up here. And here's how I can protect you. So super important. And when I changed my entire philosophy in how I practice skincare in order to align with corneotherapy, and then when my clients take that seriously into their skincare regimen at home, it's like, wow, the results are so incredible and they're so long lasting. And like I said, it's not immediate. In some cases, yes, you can see the immediate reduction of inflammation, but we're mostly seeing slow, steady, and long lasting changes. So slow beauty is this theory that slow and steady wins the race. Instead of aggressively punishing the skin into compliance, the idea is to slowly support the integrity of the tissue in order to optimize it. I think of it kind of like doing a crash diet or something that makes you lose weight really, really quickly versus getting in touch with the functions of your body, understanding detoxification, understanding and optimizing hormone function, understanding how our body uses and burns energy, understanding the mental and emotional implications of holding on to weight. We know that losing weight slowly leads to more success and maintaining results over time because you're supporting better metabolic health, you're transforming your mindset and your image, you're adapting new behaviors. And this is the exact same thing with Slow Beauty. With Slow Beauty, we are addressing skin concerns by reducing inflammation rather than inducing further inflammation. And we know inflammation is a driver for age-related degeneration of the skin. Slow Beauty supports the natural function of the skin. It's focused on supporting the barrier. And if you're new here, I'll just explain that really quickly. We have this 3-part barrier on the surface of the skin, which includes our skin's microbiome. It includes the lipid layer, like this layer of oil that seals the skin. And then the 3rd part is the slightly acidic pH of this microbiome and the oil layer. So these 3 components are what keep our skin healthy and hydrated, meaning that it's going to look better. The focus of Slow Beauty is to increase the integrity of this barrier. The other focus is to work below the surface. So when I'm thinking below the surface of the skin, the first thing that comes to mind is ground substance. We have this jelly type of substance in what's called our extracellular matrix of our connective tissue that's all hanging out below our skin. So this jelly-like substance fills the spaces between the cells and helps to keep everything in place, and it facilitates the exchange of nutrients and waste. So it facilitates the waste leaving our cells so that they don't become damaged. And then it's kind of like it's helping to remove all of the trash. If the trash in our house keeps piling up, we're going to have a pretty dysfunctional house. I'm going to walk downstairs and see this kitchen garbage overwhelmingly flowing over the top, and I'm going to get anxiety, and the whole household is going to start functioning in a dysfunctional way. And then what that also does, aside from taking that trash out and removing the waste or facilitating that, it's also going to bring the nutrients in. So at my house, it's filling up my fridge so that I'm able to function properly. I'm able to make dinner, and I'm not going to open my fridge to having nothing there. So really, really important for the skin to look good, for this exchange of nutrients and waste to take place. We have structures in the ground substance called glycosaminoglycans, which are called GAGs for short. So hyaluronic acid, I'm sure you've heard of this as a skincare ingredient. We actually have natural hyaluronic acid within our skin cells, and this is an example of a GAG. We also have many other molecules that are GAGs, like chondroitin. That's a pretty famous one that we hear of because you can take chondroitin supplements for your joints. It's found naturally in the joints. So these GAGs attract and maintain moisture, keeping your skin plump and hydrated. The ground substance provides a supportive environment for both collagen and elastin, which is going to make our skin more firm, and it's going to give it better bounce back. As we age, the ground substance loses its integrity, and we make less hyaluronic acid. So babies are full of hyaluronic acid, and that's why they're so plump and juicy. And this production starts to decline over time. But there are many plants that support the health of the ground substance. 2 of my favorites are used often in Slow Beauty preparations, which include marshmallow and calendula. This is one reason why I love the Blissoma Pure moisturizer, because it's very rich in marshmallow. I also love L'Oreal's Hydrating Elixir 1, which has a calendula hydrosol in it. But aside from ingredients, a big part of slow beauty is face massage. Face massage, as you may know if you have ever heard anything I've ever said before, offers a ton of benefits, including supporting the integrity of the ground substance. So this helps to hydrate fascia, helps to facilitate nutrient delivery, and promotes waste removal from the cells. And then face massage also promotes healthy tissue remodeling, and it can help to prevent the formation of scar tissue and then support repair of damaged areas. So there's a ton of different functions that face massage is supporting, and that's why I specialize in it. I think it's so important, and that's why I also find it so important for you to be doing at home on a regular basis. Slow beauty also seeks to support the nervous system with the understanding that our skin cannot repair, whether it be healing from a breakout or generating new collagen and elastin, unless you are able to get into a parasympathetic state. So parasympathetic is like our rest and digest state. And this is why practices like meditation are such an important part of your skin health journey. This is why my facials are highly focused on the nervous system rather than coming in for a clinical experience where we're blasting your skin into submission. Even when I do microneedling, which I'm gearing up to do an entire podcast masterclass on how I approach holistic microneedling, but even when I'm doing microneedling, I'm incorporating things like manual lymphatic drainage, which puts your body into a parasympathetic state. So if you're looking to heal perioral dermatitis or acne, or even if you're just interested in healthy aging practices, things like deep belly breathing, sitting in nature without your phone around, meditation, receiving massage, practicing visualization, a warm bath, a foot bath, these are all part of your skincare homework. And I will note, if you're new to meditation, some of my favorite resources for this, my number one is the Insight Timer app. It's totally free, and so I really like it for that. It has some good guided meditations. I also like the Calm app and Headspace. Those are both paid, but even just YouTube also has some fantastic free guided meditations. I've been meditating for over 10 years now, and I started with guided meditations on YouTube, and I will say it is a practice. It's called a practice for a reason, because the more you are sympathetic, which is your fight or flight part of your nervous system, the more that you're sympathetic system driven, the more difficult it feels at first to get into your parasympathetic during meditation. And this is totally normal. Be patient with yourself. The more you practice, the more easy it is to get into that flow state with a meditation. At first, you're just going to be like thinking about all of the things that are happening, and that's okay. I've found the key to just think about, oh, there's another thought passing by. There's another thought passing by, and try to become an observer of your thoughts rather than taken away with your thoughts. And again, it's going to take practice, and that's okay. My last point that I want to make is, in my opinion, the most important, which is the mind-skin connection. I believe that every imbalance that we experience has an emotional root cause, but also I believe that every imbalance is your body functioning to bring you back to homeostasis. I don't believe that your body is ever working against you, and this goes for skin as well. Hyperpigmentation, for example, is a result of the body sensing some type of threat or injury, And it's responding by shooting melanin to the surface of the skin to protect our cells from DNA damage. So it's like this little umbrella that comes up. So this is why we see pigment from excess sun exposure, but it's also the result of a breakout sometimes. It's a coping mechanism of our body. And it may emotionally also represent trying to hold on to something, a resistance to change, a manifestation of trying to hold on to control. The appearance of hyperpigmentation could indicate an effort to maintain stability or consistency in our life or our self-image, and it can reflect that struggle to keep things as they are rather than embracing change. So just as hyperpigmentation acts as a physical shield against sun damage, it can represent an emotional shield as well, because it's reflecting our subconscious effort to protect ourselves from emotional harm or trauma, or holding on to past experiences or feelings as a way to guard against further pain. It's your body working to support you in the best way that it knows how. So all of this to say, that's just one example, but with slow beauty, instead of just bleaching away hyperpigmentation, we want to understand all of this so that we can come to a place of peace in our internal world to actually address the root cause of why we're seeing whatever imbalance it is on the surface of our skin. Okay, that's what I've got for you today. I hope that it's been helpful. I hope that understanding what slow beauty is and why I think it's the most results-oriented approach to skincare. With that, I will be back next time, and until then, be well. You've been listening to Skin, Earth, Vitality. If you liked what you heard today, consider giving me a 5-star rating. It helps other people just like you find the show. You can shop products and find all of my offerings on my website, stratumaesthetics.com, and follow me on my social channels at Stratum Aesthetics.